guys, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Bonnie. Woo! Thanks again so much for everything, Bonnie. You're awesome. If you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We've only got like less than 2 weeks left, right? And we got all these open spaces starting tomorrow. So make sure you get in there if you want to be house guest of the day. Alright, so they had nominations yesterday, and Corey put up Paul and Victor. Oh, snap. So Nicole, Corey, and James were all hiding out in the HOH room after because you knew that was coming. So Nicole and James are reassuring Corey, like, it was a good game move. That was awesome. Great job. And Corey's like, I know, I'm not upset about it. He does feel bad on a personal level, kind of, for doing that to Paul and Victor, but he's like, I had to do it, like, whatever, they should accept that. So, Nicole and James are saying, like, Paul and Victor had to know it was coming, they would have done the same exact thing. Maybe Paul, but definitely not Victor. So then Nicole is like, wow, they believed we had a Final Four deal. Imagine that, someone actually, like, took you for your word and believed it. That's crazy. So then Nicole's saying, it's the Final Five. Like, what did they expect? Well, you had a Final Four deal, so I think they were expecting to go to the Final Four with you, but I'm not totally sure on that. Alright, so then they're talking about how they want one of the three of them to win the power of veto, keep the nominations the same, and then get rid of Victor this week. So James promises again he's not going to use the power of veto if he wins, because if he does, that means that Nicole would go up on the block, and Nicole doesn't want that! Alright, so Paul and Victor are downstairs. The mood is not as light as it was upstairs. Victor's really upset. He's definitely more hurt than Paul. Paul is like, alright, it was a good game move, I get it. He kind of was expecting this already. Victor, not as much. And Victor knows if he does not win the power of veto, he's gone. Third time's a charm. They're going to get rid of him. So Victor's like, man, I'm really bummed out that Nicole and Corey did this. And Paul's like, I'm more upset with James. What? He's saying that he thinks that James convinced them with some sort of deal. No, they were just like, we're doing this. It wasn't James. But anyway, Victor's like, James is just doing what he's got to do. Like, his ride or die partner went home last week, so now he's just making moves here. We can't really blame him. Paul kind of sounds like that girl right now that, like, gets cheated on, and she's mad at the other girl instead of her boyfriend, when you should be mad at your boyfriend, right? Because he's the one who's supposed to be loyal to you, so it's like that. So then Victor's saying, like, whichever one of us stays should pair up with James next week and split up Nicole and Corey. It's gotta be mutual, though. Like, James is gonna, you know, James has to work with you. He has to want to work with you, and I don't know if I see that happening. Also, the Final Four is, like, the crap shittiest week of the game, I feel like, because, you know, you have to either win HOH or POV or you're screwed. Like, you know, you're not going to be making any decisions. You're not going to be safe. It just sucks. So, anyway, Victor's saying that he wouldn't have done this to Nicole and Corey. I truly believe that. I think Victor was 100% loyal to them. And he's saying he's regretting going after James and Natalie last week. He's realizing they would have been a lot easier to beat than Nicole and Corey. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We saw a lot of that last week from Natalie. So they were brainstorming some plans, trying to figure out how they could both stay this week. So Victor's like, maybe we could convince James to use the power veto on one of us if he wins, and then we'll get rid of Nicole. And Paul's like, are you on drugs? Like, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I have to agree. Paul is saying he wants to go upstairs, talk to Nicole and Corey, and try and convince them that James needs to go this week. They're saying James hasn't really had to show his cards, so you don't know what he's going to do, and he's going to try and split you guys up next week. But, like, Paul and Victor are going to do that too. Why not? So, yeah. But Victor's saying, yeah, go do that. That sounds good. And make sure you tell them that I'm really upset, because I want to try and get some sympathy here. Alright, so Paul goes up to the HOH room to talk to Nicole and Corey. And Corey's just like, dude, like, I'm sorry I had to do that. It was 100% strategy. you know, it is what it is. So Paul was like, yeah, I get it. I get it. It was a game move. Congratulations. But Victor is really hurt and upset. He doesn't want to come up here to talk right now. You're going to have to talk to him at some point because he's not going to come up here on his own. So Corey's like, yeah, I get that, man. I wouldn't want to talk to me either. So then Nicole is saying we had to do this because she can't beat Victor in competitions. She feels a lot more comfortable going up against James. So then Paul is saying, yeah, but James has been throwing comps all season. So, like, we don't even know what he's capable of. It's better to stick with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. So then Paul keeps saying, again, Victor's really hurt. He's really hurt. He really screwed him over. And Paul keeps asking, too, like, do you think there's any way we could salvage this alliance? Or is this like an FU situation? He doesn't really get an answer, which means it's an FU thing. Alright, so then they're asking, they want to talk to Victor. Corey feels really bad about Victor being hurt. So they call him up to the HOH room. Victor's all like... So Corey is giving him the same explanation that he gave to Paul. He's like, it was 100% strategic, blah, 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 blah. He didn't want to have to risk Nicole going up as a replacement nominee. You know, there's less of a chance of that if James is not on the block. So then Victor's saying, like, that's bullshit because I would not have voted out Nicole if that situation arose. Like, you guys didn't trust us. What the hell? So then Victor's saying, like, I get it. But I'm really hurt that you blindsided Paul and I. You could have told us beforehand. They don't really have an answer for that. So then Victor's saying, I thought the Final Four was for real, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets a little bit, because Victor's like, I'll be fine with you guys and friendly when this game's over and I leave the house. But while I'm still here, it's game on. Like, I'm not going to pretend to be all, like, patty cake with you. I'm not happy, and I'm not going to pretend that I am. So then he's saying whichever one of us stays is going to team up with James next week and split you guys up. Oh, shit! And he's not even going to feel bad about it because of what just happened this week. Wow. Alright, so they end up hugging it out. Corey's like, come on, man, I need a hug from you. So Victor's like, alright, fine. And then he leaves. So then Paul's like, that went well. I'll work on him. Alright, so then a little while later, Nicole and Corey are alone in the HOH room chatting, and Nicole's upset about how that conversation went with Victor. She's saying, we should have freaking told them that we were putting them up. We should not have blindsided them like that. And Corey's just like, who the freak cares? Like, Victor would have been upset anyway. Don't worry about it. So Nicole really wants Victor to go now that he's kind of like threatened them. He was going after them anyway, I'm pretty sure, because they would have been in the Final Four. Like, duh, they're going to go after, you know, it makes sense. Alright. But now she's really upset because he did that. And she's like, he's acting like Polly when Polly was going to go home. I would not equate those two. It's not like that at all. But anyway, they're trying to justify their move to themselves. And Nicole's saying Paul definitely would have done the same thing in this situation. Victor, maybe not. But definitely Paul. So then Corey was also saying, well, Victor didn't freaking warn me when he broke up the Executives Alliance and put up Paulie and Corey. The Executives. Okay, so he doesn't feel bad about it. Alright, so then Victor and Paul, little pillow talk. They're trying to figure out how they can both stay this week. It's not looking good. Not coming up with a lot of great plans here. Then they're talking about the veto this week, and obviously they want to win it, but it's going to be bittersweet because they pretty much seal the fate of the one who doesn't win. So they're bummed about that, but they're both going to fight for it. And then they're talking about next week and how whoever stays should work with James, and they think that James is just going to go along with it. I wouldn't be too sure about that. I'm pretty sure that James wants to stick with Nicole and Corey. I mean, you never know. You never know. Why would you want to go to the Final Three with a showmance? But this is James, so who freaking knows? Alright, so then Nicole and Corey are chatting again, and she's getting pissed because Victor's all bummed out, and she feels guilty. So she thinks that Victor's making them look bad, like being all upset. She's like, I hope he's not crying in the diary room, like we're gonna look like D-Haze. So then Corey keeps bringing up how Victor broke up the Executives, which I think is kind of ridiculous that he keeps bringing this up because, first of all, they made up that alliance as a joke. Like, they weren't even taking it seriously. And the joke was supposed to be on Victor. So they're freaking criticizing him for breaking up this alliance that was making fun of him. Also, they already voted Victor out. Like, he's already been voted out. And then they were like, you went after Paulie. But Paulie freaking put him up and freaking got rid of him in week 2 or 3 or whatever it was. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, Nicole doesn't get why Victor's so upset right now. Oh my god. She is comparing it to her first season when Christine put her up on the block and she was like, I was only upset for like an hour and then I was hanging out with Christine. So she's wondering, was Victor ever really our friend? Like, how could it be so hot and cold? Like, he was hanging out with us nonstop last week and now he doesn't want to be around us. I wonder why. Alright, Corey does not feel bad on the other hand. He's like, Victor is being a jerk right now and he wants him to go home. Alright, so then last night, there was this big secret reveal session. Ooh, it was not that great. So you know how they've been saying that this season all the newbies have these little secrets? Which, no, they were just like lying about stuff that did not affect the game at all. Like, Bridget dating a doctor. And like, what was another one? Bronte being a secret mathematician. Stuff like that. So Victor reveals that he is not a personal trainer. He is an operations manager at a gym. Why was that a secret? That's so stupid. I remember back in the day when it was like a new thing to lie about your profession and like people would actually do it for a good reason. Like you're a CIA agent or something and you actually have like skills that would help in this game. But now they're lying about stupid shit like being a personal trainer. So then James reveals that Natalie was an NFL cheerleader and they're just like, okay. Again, these are not things that you need to lie about. It's just like stupid. So today, people were sleeping. Nicole and Corey were chit-chatting, studying for the face morph competition because that's what they think this veto will be. I think that would be fun because that is one of my favorite veto competitions. I like to see what they come up with. I want them to do like an if they made it face morph and have like all the showmances and show how scary the babies would look. Alright, but anyway, Nicole had another dream that Derek from Big Brother 16 visited the house. He's basically been here all season. I mean, really, it's like he was on again. Right? Am I right? I think I'm right. But yeah, the feeds went down for the Power Veto competition. They're still down right now. So if you check back later, I will post the results and the info for this video. Let me know who you're rooting for in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.